Now let's install the pump. A word of warning. Failure to comply with the following procedures will void the warranty on your pump. Location is very important, so determine a desirable place on the vehicle to locate the pump. Locate the pump in the upper part of the engine compartment, under the hood. This is important to keep the pump from being exposed to the weather and other harsh elements. Also, mount the pump vertically, motor down only, or horizontally, to help ensure no water can collect and cause failure. Do not mount the pump in the fender well or behind the bumper or otherwise in the lower portion of the engine compartment. This exposes the pump to road splash and will void the warranty. We do include a mounting bracket that enables you to more easily mount the pump in the upper part of the engine compartment. Be sure to route the 3/8 inch and 5/16 inch hoses so road hazards and other moving parts, sharp edges, and hot exhaust parts will not damage them. Attach one end of the 3/8 inch hose with one of the hose clamps to the installed pan connector. Route the other end to the input side of the pump and cut to length. Using one of the hose clamps, attach it to the input pump fitting. Using a suitable length of the 5/16 hose and one of the hose clamps, connect one end of the hose to the output side of the pump. Route the other end of the 5/16 inch hose to the selector valve and connect it to the pump connection of the selector valve. The REMCO Lube pump kit includes all the wiring and electrical hardware needed to install the electronic monitor on the motorhome dash panel and the lube pump in the towed vehicle. The kit provides for the automatic control of the taillights, brake lights, and turn signals of the vehicle. Check the parts in the kit against the parts list to familiarize yourself with each item and to make sure none are missing. For proper installation, it is necessary for you to have available the following tools which are not provided in the kit: a 12-volt DC continuity tester, small wire cutter, wire stripper, wire terminal crimper, electrical tape, screwdriver, an electric drill, a number 7 drill bit, and 3/8 inch nut driver. When properly completed, the coiled connector cable should rest on the tow bar to keep it from dragging on the ground. Carefully study the electrical schematic diagram to become acquainted with the overall wiring plan and the circuitry. Let's begin by running the 5-foot-long 2-conductor red and black cable from the socket to the pressure switch on the selector valve you have already installed. Cut the 2-conductor cable to proper length. Separate the wires back approximately 3 inches. Strip back the insulation and crimp a 1/4 inch female terminal onto each wire. Connect one wire to each of the 2-blade connections on the pressure switch. Now, since polarity is not critical, either wire can be connected to either terminal. Attach one end of the 3-foot-long red wire provided in the kit to the red wire of the 2-conductor cable at the pressure switch using one of the self-stripping wire tap connectors that is provided. Take the other end of the 3-foot-long red wire and route it to the lube pump, then cut to length. Strip back the insulation on the red wire and crimp on the 1/4 inch male terminal that is provided. Make sure the wires are kept clear of all the moving parts and are not touching parts which become hot when the vehicle is driven. It is usually best to follow the same paths as existing wiring under the vehicle's hood. Connect the black wire extending from the pump to a nearby chassis ground. For the installation of the taillight diverters, determine which taillight wiring system you have on the towed vehicle. You will have either a 3-wire or a 4-wire system. A 3-wire system has combined turn signals and brake lights. A 4-wire system has separate turn signals and brake lights. In the 4-wire system, we will use the brake lights for both the turn signals and brake lights for towing. Note that each diverter has 2 input connectors and 1 output connector. The wires of the towed vehicle's original wiring harness are connected to one of the input connectors of each diverter used. Each wire of the 3 conductor wires supplied by REMCO is attached to the remaining input connector of each diverter used. Follow the provided wiring schematic for proper connections.